could happen. I mean, why not? If Crawford want to challenge himself to be great, let him try to be great. So you know what I'm saying? I'm with it. So I'll be going for the if he fight Canelo.
You got Crawford over Bud? I mean, you got Crawford over Canelo? Sorry.
I'll be going for it.
Crawford.
You gonna stand on that all the way to September 13th?
I love Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo by decision. I can't.
Canelo. But Bud is one of the best adjusters in the game. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's going to affect the.
Both Stephen A. Smith and Errol Spence offered their opinions on the impending Canelo Álvarez versus Terence Crawford bout. Crawford's choice to increase his weight, according to Spence, demonstrates his self-awareness and resolve to strive for greatness. He publicly applauds Crawford for accepting such a significant challenge and sees the action as audacious and heroic. Stephen A. Smith, on the other hand, asserted with confidence that Crawford will triumph over Canelo.
The Crawford Canelo, I mean, is this something that you could honestly think that should happen? There's weight classes for a reason.
I mean, it could happen. I mean, why not? If Crawford want to challenge himself to be great, let him try to be great. So you know what I'm saying? I'm with it. So I'll be going for the if he fight Canelo.
You got Crawford over Bud? I mean, you got Crawford over Canelo? Sorry.
I'll be going for him. I'll be going for him. I mean, I don't know if he's gonna win or lose, but I definitely be on Crawford. I think if anybody can pull out, he can pull out. But he's chasing greatness, so why not?
But don't you think maybe it's just he's reaching a little bit more than, or I guess biting more than he can chew, because it's.
Canelo came up to 175 and now they done fought Overland and fought the other guy too. So I mean, if he can do it, he started with 147. So, I mean, if he's doing it, why can't Crawford do it?
According to Stephen A. Smith, Crawford's strategies and abilities are significantly better than those of any of Canelo's most recent rivals. He emphasized Crawford's flexibility in the ring and his capacity to adapt when things become tough. Smith stated unequivocally that he will stick to his forecast of Crawford winning through September 13th.
You got a love for boxing.
Yes, love boxing.
Who gonna win the fight, man? That's coming up, the biggest
Crawford.
fight in boxing.
Crawford.
Huh?
Crawford. I'm not hesitating. Crawford. I'm not even hesitating. Crawford.
You gonna stand on that all the way to September 13th?
I love Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo by decision. I can't see anybody knocking out Canelo Álvarez. But I do believe that if you can box and you can move, that you can beat Canelo. You can outpoint him.
That's right.
When I think about Canelo, one of the things that I don't like about Canelo, despite his greatness, and a neck as wide as Broadway for crying out loud.
Right.
It's like almost every shot has to be a power shot.
It's a power shot, yeah.
That's not beating Crawford. Gervonta Davis's trainer, Cal, I think he said this. He said Crawford could find himself in trouble if he decides to engage with Canelo, because Canelo is the naturally bigger, stronger fighter. And I don't care that Crawford's gotten bigger, and I don't care that Crawford's gonna go in there just as big as Canelo. Canelo is accustomed to fighting at the weight, and Crawford is not. And Canelo is a genius in this regard. You don't see him show up for fights not ready. He's always ready.
always prepared.
He's always ready.
He's
always prepared. So I think he's the slower fighter, though. And I think that Crawford is brilliant as a boxer. And I think that between switching to conventional and southpaw, using his jab and movement, I think that Crawford is going to outpoint Canelo because he's faster. But
Errol Spence frequently comes up in discussions on Terence Crawford's move to confront Canelo Álvarez. Many supporters think that Crawford's convincing victory over Spence demonstrates his ability to rise to the occasion. However, the adult shows everyone that Canelo is a different fighter entirely. Although Spence was powerful and competent, his approach was far simpler and less adaptable than Canelo's. Canelo's advantages over larger opponents include years of experience, a stronger physique, and heavier fists.
People thought Spence would destroy Canelo. That's why they linked Crawford would do what he did to Spence. He would do to Canelo. And the funny thing is, how many of you guys you remember me saying Canelo will whoop Spence's ass? I was like, that shit wouldn't even be close. And the dumb shit is they think that Spence is similar to Canelo. I ain't never seen two fighters more different than Spence and Canelo. But Spence worked behind the jab. Canelo, not so much. Spence is southpaw. Canelo, not at all. Spence had a textbook defense. You were sideways. Canelo, more forward with the earmuffs, with the catch and shoot. Spence, hardly any head movement. He blocks and he breaks you down like a tank. Canelo, from waist up, his hand movements is incredible. I never seen fighters more different than Spence and Canelo.
Because Spence and Canelo compete in separate weight classes and have different skill sets, it can be deceptive to compare them. Although Crawford's victory over Spence was noteworthy, Showbiz emphasizes that this does not guarantee that he will have the same level of success against Canelo. The Mexican sensation has demonstrated his abilities against a number of top boxers. Additionally, Crawford deals with a fresh set of issues that Spence never brought up. This distinction is what makes the impending bout so exciting, since it represents a whole new challenge rather than just a continuation of the Spence-Crawford rivalry.
I don't see Crawford knocking Canelo out. If Canelo lets Crawford get away with boxing, he may have a shot. If Canelo comes in there and boxes and cut the ring, Canelo has a chance of knocking Crawford out.
What?
Yeah.
You said Canelo got a shot of knocking Crawford out?
I think he does.
Wow.
Remember, Crawford coming up for 135. And I don't know if y'all remember when he fought Gamboa. Gamboa rocked him a little bit too. And we talk about Canelo Álvarez.
That was a long time ago. If we gonna do that, Canelo got rocked by Jose Miguel Cotto.
I didn't know that. But on the real, Canelo has faced a bigger opposition. He's faced a bigger and a harder punchers. Who has Crawford faced that's a big puncher? Canelo's taking more hard punches than Crawford. The tail of the tape is going to be if Crawford can take the power from Canelo, and can Canelo box with Crawford and potentially hurt him and finish the fight.
Regarding Canelo Álvarez bringing Jiren Boots Anderson to camp as a sparring partner, Zab Judah offered his thoughts. Judah thinks that since Ennis is one of the most dynamic welterweight fighters, Canelo will benefit much from this decision in terms of training. Canelo gains an understanding of the type of quickness and movement Crawford brings by sparring with him. Judah, however, draws a crucial distinction. Crawford and Andis are not the same person. Crawford has a distinct rhythm, whereas Boots is explosive, quick with combinations, and aggressive.
It makes a difference in being able to see a lot more punches coming at you, a bigger guy throwing a lot more, sharper and volume of punches. Yeah, that makes it a little difference. But, still Crawford is still a different technical fighter than Boots is. You know what I'm saying? He's a different kind of technician. You know what I'm saying? He's more of a right there, in your face, take away and counter, lock up, counter. You know what I'm saying? Which Boots is forward, out of there, blah, blah, out of there, boom, 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 out of there. You know what I'm saying? A different kind of fight. Does it make sense?
He skillfully manipulates distance, changes positions fluidly, and tricks opponents into falling into traps. Judah notes that while Canelo would undoubtedly gain by competing against Ennis, this does not mean he'll be prepared for Crawford's more analytical approach. Put another, Canelo may get sharper from the sparring sessions, but they are unable to completely duplicate the puzzle Crawford brings to the ring. Judah's remarks highlight the fact that, despite the fact that sparring partners might offer valuable insights, nothing can replace confronting the actual opponent under pressure on fight night.
Yes, it makes a lot of sense they work with him, but you know what I'm saying? Will it make a difference in the fight? I don't know. I just think that it'll get Canelo more used to younger guys, faster hands, you know what I'm saying, coming at him like that. Is he still going to be able to deal with the different technical moves that Crawford is going to do to him? I don't know.
Oscar de la Hoya provided a fair assessment of the game. He brought up Terence Crawford's early career struggles against Yurkis Gamboa, demonstrating that even elite fighters may be put to the test by more diminutive yet talented opponents. De La Hoya noted that if Crawford struggled there, it may be even more difficult to take on Canelo, who is larger, stronger, and more formidable. De La Hoya did not discount Crawford's ability, though. He admitted that Crawford is among the sport's most technically proficient fighters, exhibiting remarkable timing, deft counterpunching, and tactical versatility.
Do you feel that Terence has a shot in beating Canelo Álvarez? That's the $1 million question. When I watched Terence Crawford get rattled and rocked by Yorkis Gamboa, who's a natural 30-pounder, that to me is going to be a huge problem when he gets hit by Canelo. So he fights at 175. He's fighting these big monsters. Right. Yeah. He's not getting rattled at all. Right. No. Berlanga's a big kid. Right. Yeah. So it makes me think, I mean, how is Crawford going to keep him away for 12 rounds? Canelo's going to come at him hard. Right. But then again, I think about Crawford's abilities and his IQ and his footwork, which Canelo cannot handle.
De La Hoya claims that the conflict between Canelo's strength and bulk and Crawford's talent and ring acumen is what makes the bout so interesting. He acknowledges that since both competitors have qualities that could determine the result, it is very hard to anticipate what will happen when they square off. The tremendous stakes and unpredictability that draw the boxing world to the match are reflected in De La Hoya's anxiety.
With Bivol, it happened with Mayweather, who schooled him left and right with no problem, and Canelo was way stronger than Mayweather. So there's
Don't you think Canelo's a better fighter than he was then? Today?
A better fight? Yeah, a little better. Yeah, his footwork is still the same. He's flat-footed. He's very heavy on his feet.
Obviously, Canelo has the power to hurt anyone.
In this game, power means a lot. If you can't keep your guy off you, or you don't know how because it's too much pressure. Right. And the one thing about Crawford is that he knows how to handle the pressure. He's a savvy boxer, you know? And he doesn't run, and he has that heart. He's a dog. He has that heart. You want to fight, Sean?
Canelo's decision to invite Jiren Andis into his camp was praised by Sean Porter as a wise one. Porter compared the choice to the way Sebastian Fondor trained for specific styles by sparring with Mike Fox. In this instance, Boots is thought to be the greatest Terence Crawford replica available. Canelo can train against someone who can roughly match the difficulties Crawford would bring because of his explosiveness, fast feet, and sharp angles. Even though he is not an identical replica, Porter pointed out that Crawford is different from most opponents. Therefore, this kind of preparation is essential. He changes tactics in the middle of a battle, adjusts his strategy with ease, and corrects errors right away.
Got me a little concerned about my boy because this dude right here is the goods, has the ability to do a lot of what Canelo's gonna see on fight night, and all he needs is a couple of reps of seeing it. And you know, it's not often you can find someone who can duplicate the guy that you're getting in the ring with. Who the hell did you spar with to get ready for Fondor?
Actually, yeah, the homie Mike Fox.
Mike Fox, everybody use Mike Fox. Goddamn, Mike.
He gets
beat up for Fondor.
He gets employment for.
Canelo must be vigilant and adapt in real time while in the gym, just like he will on fight night. Porter thinks that even while this tactic can't perfectly capture the unpredictability of the actual battle, it will help Canelo better understand Crawford's movement patterns. Sharpening Canelo's reflexes and ensuring he isn't taken aback when Crawford begins to shift momentum are the main goals.
We've talked about that all the time because I'm the one that I think first called him, you know, for the Fundora fight. And he says like, man, ever since that and you went and knocked him out, like, he's like, as long as Fundora is fighting people, I got work. Like,
yeah.
Nah, and but like to that point, the fact that Canelo even brought in Boots, even if they're like doing it for the cameras and they're going 50%, I don't even care.
Right.
The fact that he's calling him in shows that he's not just phoning it in. This isn't for the check because Canelo's done. He's about to do this and dip out.
Right.
If you bring in someone like that, where you're really trying to bring in tough sparring for the look for your fight, Canelo's he's really gonna be in there to win it.
Here's the disclaimer: you're not bringing in a friend. I went out to Philly to interview Boots, and I told him, yeah, I'll get in the ring with you and do a couple of rounds. And he worked accordingly, but I could see in his eyes that...
The fight's associated racial and cultural overtones have been another aspect of it. Some commentators contend that the promotion has evolved beyond a simple athletic competition, with stories like Mexican versus African-American boxers taking the stage. When Canelo used Jiren Andis for sparring, the outcry grew more intense, and Coach Reg responded by saying that some felt this heightened sense of rivalry. His research demonstrates how boxing frequently mirrors broader social conflicts in which supporters impose their identities and communities on competitors. He did note, though, that focusing only on the fight's race runs a risk of overshadowing both athletes' technical prowess.
Racial fight. That's what it is. It became a racial fight. It became blacks against the Mexicans. It wasn't like that a few weeks ago.
Definitely wasn't. I didn't hear nothing about race. I heard more so about size and weight class and, you know, resumes, etc.
Right. And, I mean, that's just what it. That's what it came to. I mean, people can deny it all they want, but realistically, like, that's what it came to. It's a racial fight. Blacks against the Mexicans. That's what it came down to. You know what I mean? So I think that's why a lot of people mad that, you know, Boots is sparring Canelo, because it's like, oh, he's helping him out. You know what I mean? But, you know, like I said, what Bud have turned the camp down. Would he have stopped the money for Boots?
He believes that Crawford and Canelo are battling to establish their traditions in the sport rather than to demonstrate cultural dominance. Coach Reg did concede, however, that the cultural component cannot be disregarded. From Ali versus Frazier to Chavez versus Taylor, national pride and identity have always been significant factors in boxing history, and as a result, fan groups frequently divide along cultural lines. Both the African American and Mexican populations are supporting their fighters in this battle, which heightens the intensity of an already intense contest.
Yeah, Boots in there is sparring, you know, Canelo. But Bud is one of the best adjusters in the game. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's going to affect the sparring. And I don't think, you know, Boots did it with, you know, intentions of going against Bud. I mean, it's just sparring. He probably won some elite sparring, and, you know, that's what happened.
What does he gain out of this?
Boots?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say notoriety, because a lot of people already know who Boots is. But it's a good experience. You know what I'm saying? Going, you know, getting to sparring with a legend like Canelo. You know what I mean? So
Canelo's performance against boxers like John Ryder, who some fans refer to as Skull, is cited by some skeptics as proof that he would have trouble versus Crawford. Canelo did not appear to be as dominant as anticipated during the bout, and Ryder gave him some challenging moments. Nevertheless, context is frequently missed in those criticisms. Being larger than Crawford by nature, Ryder contributed a physicality that Crawford lacks. Even though it was a challenge, Canelo defeated Ryder with a comfortable victory. This demonstrates that even though Canelo might not constantly outperform opponents, he can adjust and defeat tough, tenacious opponents. It can be inaccurate to draw comparisons between that battle and a fight with Crawford, since the mechanics of size and style are completely different.
This is what scares me going into this Terence Crawford fight. These are the guys Canelo's typically fighting. This is his last opponent, William Skull. William Skull is far from a great opponent. When we're talking about sheer size and strength, Canelo is just way more built and used to taking on larger guys and overpowering them. Look at William Skull. This guy is jacked. He's huge, man. And that makes me think, like, if Canelo has been taking punches from guys like this, I'm not saying William Skull in particular, but guys like William Skull, the size of William Skull, and he's been dropping them, stopping them, beating them around the ring, overpowering, over-muscling, just everything, physically demanding over them. That makes me think, man, Terence Crawford, I don't know what, you gonna have to come with some heat, dog. Look at
Canelo may feel more at ease imposing his strength and speed, because Crawford will not have the same physical advantages as Ryder. According to this viewpoint, it would be a mistake to underestimate Canelo based on a Ryder bout, because he has repeatedly shown that he can prevail even in difficult situations.
Half the size of William Skull. There's nothing cut about him. There's nothing popping out, bulging. There's nothing. Look at this. This is insanity. That's what I'm really like, dude. I don't know. Canelo could go in there and walk through Terence Crawford like a hot knife through butter. That is definitely on the table here. He gonna have to be really crafty, really savvy, and have to put on some amazing work from the outside. If he tries to sit there and walk through Canelo, he gonna hit a brick wall, dog. If guys built like this ain't walking through Canelo, even when Canelo looks like this, Terence Crawford ain't doing it, man. I gotta be honest.
That concludes the video for today. Keep an eye out. Till the next time,